Hello, welcome to My Startup TV. I'm your host, Major Sunil Shetty. Today we launch the first episode of our exciting new series called the Swaraksha, which means self-protection. In this series, we spotlight startups and companies that are dedicated to defending our nation's borders through their innovative solution and products. So today, the company that we are featuring in the first episode is called Tamilan, the drone company, a drone company that is pioneering, something very unique, and that's going to it's developing a framework that's going to enable production of one drone per hour. And now that is something called disruption. Joining me to discuss this is the founder of Tamilan, Mr. Krishnamurthy H. Stay tuned for this inspiration conversation. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining. Mr. Krishnamurthy, welcome to the show. Mr. Krishnamurthy, welcome to the show.
Welcome, sir. Hi.
Hi. So, Mr. Krishnamurthy, we are at the start of, in September, there is going to be this Suraksha Mahotsav 2025, which is being held in Vishakhapatnam. It's in September. And as part of the show, we are going to do this series of startups and companies that are going to be part of the Suraksha Mahotsav. We have started a series called Suraksha. And your company is, the first one to be part of the, kicking start the series, I would say. So thank you for being on our show. Welcome. And then, I would like to start this by asking you to talk about your own personal entrepreneurial journey as an entrepreneur.
We have been in business for a very long time. And the thought of manufacturing drones came to us when we wanted to deliver food and medicines to a lot of people around our state. And we had the difficulty that we could not get drones. And it was very difficult even to buy one because everything was being imported from China. That is when we thought, why not we start manufacturing our own drones in-house so that we can serve our country in future. That was our main intention of manufacturing these drones, and we wanted to manufacture everything in-house. That was one of our main agenda, to make in India rather than import from foreign countries. So we designed our drone. It took us almost about 2 years for designing. And basically, I come from engineering manufacturing background. So we used to manufacture high precision components. So that gave us the yardstick of designing, because designing is our forte, and research and development is the key to any product or any nation. For that fact, research and development is the only key to success. So we did our research. We developed a drone that is universal. One drone, several avatars. That means one
So,
drone. Yes.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Complete that point.
So these drones can adapt themselves as surveillance drones, logistic drones, kamikaze drones for military, loitering ammunition. They can become agricultural drones. They can become mapping drones. You name it, your wish list, more than 40, 45 use case scenarios, these drones can adapt by themselves.
So, very interesting, Mr. Krishnamurthy. I like that phrase, one drone, several avatars. For people who probably don't understand what you're talking about, if you could, make it easier for our viewers to understand, what does it mean? I mean, when you say one drone, several avatars, are you saying it's one drone that can be retrofitted into multiple roles, be it for defense, be it for agriculture, or logistics? Is that what it is? If you can just help our viewers understand as to what do you mean by one drone, multiple avatars.
Manufacture a universal drone airframe. That means this airframe can adapt into 3 to 4 different configuration of motors and 3 to 4 different configuration of propellers. So the weight thrust starting from 5 kg to 15 kg to 25 kg, it varies from motor to motor. So you want to carry something very light, you just want to deliver some medicines to a nearby area, you don't need to use huge motors. The same drone can carry even a small motor and a bigger motor. So starting from 30-inch to 41-inch propellers can be fitted in the same airframe. So it depends on the same way. The landing gear, we have carbon fiber landing gear, we have aluminum landing gear. So for surveillance and military purpose, we use carbon fiber. For aluminum, we use because you need to fit a water tank at the bottom for agriculture. So like that, you can mix and match the gadgets and start flying. You don't have to keep making new different types of drones for more than 40, 50 use case scenarios. Today, agricultural drone is an agricultural drone. You cannot use it for anything else. So whereas we have brought in a universal platform where you can swap the use case scenario, just change the gadgets, just change the camera, whatever you want, and you can start flying within 60 minutes. Your drone is ready.
Oh,
Quite a disruption, the way you explain it. But then to build something like this, as you rightly said, a lot of R&D needs to go into it, which you said you already done for about 2 years. You've been building on this particular platform. But then this also needs to be certified by some authority, isn't it? So do you have any partners who have worked with you, or anybody who has certified your design that it is, it can do what you're claiming?
Exactly. We did our research in Japan with one of our raw material partners. They're a very big multinational company. Okay, the research went on for almost a year. Then the entire research paper was vetted by us, and we started thoroughly threadbare checking all the documents. Then we signed a MOU with IIT Madras. We sent our documents, we presented to them, and they took a couple of months and they gave us a clean sheet telling that yes, your quality design analysis parameters are perfectly fine, and you can go for the next stage of production. So immediately that gave us the confidence that yes, we are on the right track. We immediately started investing on our molds. It took about 6 months to manufacture these molds. These molds are very high tensile steel, which we imported from Italy. We imported about 50 to 55 tons of steel. It was machined, and the final mold weight is about 20 to 21 tons. Like that, we have two molds and two smaller molds, each about 6 to 10 tons. So these are all massive molds, very heavy, and highly complex engineering. You have to actually see the making video of how we have made these molds. It's an high precision marvel, is what I would claim, because that is a kind of engineering skills that has gone inside in manufacturing these molds. Now, having claimed all that,
so
why did we even make a mold?
let
Me
me
first, get this thing cleared here, because for the first time I'm hearing somebody talk about molds being used for making drones. Because what we have seen is when you talk about drones, majority of the companies kind of get the parts, put them together, assemble them, and a drone is ready. But you're saying something completely different. What you're saying is you have gone ahead and built molds, and you're going to do some kind of a injection molding of the drones. Is that what it is?
Exactly. We will be manufacturing the entire drone airframe per se in-house through injection molding process. And this is the first time in India somebody has imported carbon fiber injection molding material from Japan, and we have injected it very successfully. It is 40% carbon fiber and P6 nylon is a blended compound. It is extremely robust. It is called long carbon fiber, high impact resistance, very good UV resistance, and all these tensile strength match to global standards. Our vision is to export to over 100 countries. So that is why we wanted to build a product that is so unique. When you go to a global defense expo, what if your drone is compared to another Chinese drone or another country drone, which all looks similar? What is so unique about your quality parameters, your state of the art technology, what you have implemented, so you proudly say this drone can be sold anywhere in the world? So that is the school of thought we came to, and we want our drones to be sold in over 100 countries. That is our vision. Whether it is agriculture or defense, you name it, our drones will be there.
So you're talking about two molds.
Typically, a
A
drone, to best of our understanding, is about 60 odd components. So when you are talking about your drone, you're saying two injection molds. So that means you're going to reduce the number of parts or the components that would go into the drone that you will manufacture here in India?
Yes, exactly. See, the too many components leads to too many errors and too many quality issues. And even in assembly, it takes a lot of time, and you cannot have some 600 screws or 400 screws going on into so many connectors and components and tubes, etc., etc. Once we went to our R&D board, we said to ourselves that we have to eliminate all these n number of components that goes into a drone. In a standard agricultural drone, probably anywhere between 40 to 60 or 80 components go inside to make a full drone. Whereas With us, the main airframe is just three components: top shell, bottom shell, landing gear. You snap it with a couple of screws, you're done to fly. It's very easy
And
to assemble.
That's
that's
kind
kind
of
of remind.
reminding me of when you bring the children's toys and you have little components and then you just put them together and it runs. So you kind of made it that easy, isn't it? The IKEA kind of a model, DIY.
Yeah, it is like a Lego. You just join, put things together, and you put it properly, you're ready to fly.
And
And
this also means that probably the production time itself or the assembly time, the manufacturing time also will come down drastically, isn't it? Because when you talk about 60 to 80 components being assembled together, vis-a-vis just three components being put together, that should bring down the timeline for manufacturing or assembling a drone drastically. So could you give us some sense as to what timeline would it take for you to put a drone together?
To put a drone together, normally an agricultural drone, if they have all the components in place, they would take a couple of hours or a day even to complete a full drone. Whereas exactly in 60 to 65 minutes, we can have a full drone assemble and you can actually fly it off. The beauty of the molds kicks in when the manufacturing comes into play. We want to fully automate our factory for drone manufacturing. So our production time is extremely fast. We can produce one drone airframe every 6 minutes. Clock tick, every 6 minutes, you can have a drone frame out and it can go straight into the assembly line.
well,
That's amazing. When I started this, the intro I was trying to in my intro I said, the companies are, through the innovation they are going to protect or defend the borders of India. And what you're saying that every 6 minutes you can have one assembled drone mainframe ready, which means that a complete drone should be probably ready in an hour or two. Is that what it would take?
Exactly.
that
In an
means
hour or two.
if
Operation Sindoor 2 was to happen, India should not be worried because companies like yours will keep pumping in as many drones government requires or the armed forces requires every few hours, isn't it?
First and foremost, I wish and pray we don't have a situation like that. But for us, nation first, yes, my drones will be there, not in one or two, thousands of drones having a swarm formation. We can defend our borderlines. We have the hardware, we have the software, we have the technology. Our specialty is swarm drones. So you want to fly 1,000 drones at the same time? Yes, it can be done. So we have the software also done. Everything is ready. We know how to operate the swarm drone operation. And same way as you said, Operation Sindoor, we have built a new Male and Hale, which is a high altitude and a medium altitude drones. These drones are the type of drones that actually can conduct missions like Operation Sindoor.
Well, as a military man, ex military man, a veteran, that's quite reassuring to know that companies like yours, the startups like yours, are able to give us or would be in a position to give us, the new technology or the new drones which are part of the new warfare. Unlimited number of drones and supplies, which is very reassuring. So, sorry. Uh, One of the things that what we hear from other drone manufacturers is some of the components come from they have to import it, and pretty much primarily from China. So do you have anything that you have to import, or are you making everything in house?
We are dependent on China because the rare earth magnets only those guys have. We have missed the bus in terms of rare earth material and magnets manufacturing in our country. Our country itself doesn't have it. So we have to import it through some foreign source. But there are many companies in Germany and Europe also making these motors. And we have a couple of MOUs signed with a couple of companies to import. We can give you a 100% non-Chinese drone. Okay, but again, the cost is double or triple of what this you could manufacture with some of the Chinese components which are non-communicating. So there is no damage done to the drone communication system per se. Now coming to this problem is because of the government policy has to be very well tweaked to support the drone industry as an ecosystem. Drone ecosystem can be built only from grassroots level. That means the SME and the MSME of India are the backbone of any kind of growth in the industry, because bigger companies have too much of money and power, and they have not good interest, like how a small guy, a startup company like me, where the MD himself put the heart and soul and works 16 hours, 18 hours a day. I don't think MNCs have the mind to work like that. So whereas we do, because we want to achieve, we want to fulfill our targets. That's why startups are more successful and become big MNCs. That's how the growth goes. So they all should understand, any big company you take was once a small company. So the government of India, the Ministry of Defense, should earmark 30% of all defense orders, the smaller orders, to be given to any deserving SME or MSME. So they are flooded with orders. Thousands of factories will be flooded with orders. Now, what they will do out of that few thousand, there could be 10 genius who will really put his heart and soul, work 18 hours a day, 20 hours a day, finally make that component. And that becomes a trigger point for everybody. From there, the technology will slowly spread across the whole ecosystem. Within a span of 5 years, you can have most of the components being manufactured in our own country. Please take Ukraine as a classic example. They are at war. Today, Ukraine has a capacity to export drones. The country which was importing drones, okay, they have a capacity to manufacture 1.5 million drones. So is Russia. So these are the kind of numbers we are talking by. Both the Russia didn't even know what a drone was 4 years back, before this war, everything. But overnight, they ramped up the whole thing. They had missiles, they had smart bombs, but definitely not smaller drones. So is the case with the United States. Even they don't have smaller drones. They're also building now. So drones are the futuristic weapons, just like bullets. They will be disposable. You can keep on firing, and they are very smart. Unlike a bullet, you just fire it and forget it. It goes in a particular straight line and gone. Whereas drones can maneuver and go into any angle and any degree of attack, and it can be fully programmed. It can be autonomous. Whereas a bullet cannot be autonomous. So that is why drones will be one of the future best weapons ever.
Definitely, what we seen, what we read about Ukraine-Russia war.
Definitely, we
Uh, Whatever we read about, things happening in between Russia and Ukraine, and then we also saw during Operation Sindoor that drones ended up playing a major role in the in the scheme of things. And as you rightly said, the future is all about drone warfare. So as an industry today, what is, I mean, you're somebody who's building the company, and you're part of the ecosystem, drone ecosystem. Can you spell out the challenges that you as a company face, and what kind of support do you need from government?
Sir, first and foremost, the policy and decision making by the government is extremely slow in the military. They have to really rapidly ramp up the decision making capacity, and they have to build the ecosystem for the entire Indian army. So we have been to many drone expos in the army, and we get an inquiry, but we don't get a feedback after that what actually happened to that inquiry. So they have to be more proactive. They have to give the orders to SMEs and MSMEs. The entire electronic industry should get very good PLI schemes, including the drone industry, to manufacture any kind of a drone component. The government can say you can import the machinery free of cost, but in the 5 years you have to make the product and show it to us. Same way, raw material required to manufacture all this, you can import it free of cost, but you have to manufacture it and show it to the government, because it's very important to be very. I told you I want to sell in over 100 countries. If I import, pay customs duty, pay GST, all that put together is about 28-30%, and then try and export it, will not be competitive in the global market.
So what you're saying is, like government has certain export, linked incentives, drone manufacturers like you who are also wanting to export, but first step is you want to first get those products done here. So there should be exemption of import duty, GST on the equipment you bring in, raw material that you bring in, and once you are able to export them, showcase the product and export them, and then government can take whatever taxes they need to take.
For example, the mold steel, which we imported several tons, we imported it from Italy. There is no company in India that is actually making the mold steel. And we are such a big nation making steel. Why can't we make mold steel? Again, the policy has to change. The government has to give a lot of incentives to these companies. Sir, in China, they give you incentives up to 20 to 40% on raw material as well as on sold. And raw material is like you can import it almost free of charge. So that way you'll be globally very competitive.
So, have you heard of IDEX? Because IDEX is one organization that works very closely between startups and companies like yours and the and the buyer, which is the armed forces, and they kind of are the bridge between. So IDEX is an organization that's the bridge between companies like yours and also the buyer, which is the armed forces. Do you know about them and have you used their service?
Sir, I've already pitched in 2 of IDEX projects. I have also pitched in 2 of Aditi's project. Till today, I've not even got a mail by the MOD telling your project has been selected, your project has been rejected. No, it is 2 years now. See, this is the very heartbreaking thing. What MOD is doing, they should change. They should be proactive. There should be more communication between vendors and them. So that is very, very important. Without communication, what are you going to achieve? Tomorrow, if God forbid the war breaks out, they immediately call and say, please supply 5,000 drones. I'm not a magician. I don't have a raw material for 5,000 drones. Who's got 5,000 drones? You require 20,000 motors. Who's got 20,000 motors in stock? So they should understand that the ecosystem has to be built over a period of time. So MOD has to invest on research and development. They have to fund small companies like us. Big companies already have their funds. Smaller ones like us who are suffering, who know the technology, who know how to do it, they should help us out. For example, my Male and Hale, the high altitude drones, we are capable of building it. We are 3 guys from different backgrounds who actually designed it and put it together. Out of that, 2 are from IIT. Now we have done it, but we need funds to build these drones because these are all massive investment projects. And of course, even the selling price, it runs in crores, but we are capable of doing it. But we need a handholding either from the big companies or from the government. And the government has to start at least investing 2 to 3% of GDP on research, which is my humble request. Otherwise, we are still going to keep on requesting other countries to supply us these materials and goods, and this will be a never-ending story.
And your company is based out of Chennai, and your manufacturing plant is going to come up there, or you plan to have in multiple locations?
TITCO, the Industrial Nodal Authority for Aerospace and Defense, vetted my project and they approved it. And SIPCOT approved it, and they gave us 2.1 acre of prime land in Aerospace and Defense Park in Tamil Nadu at Vallam Aerospace Park, which is in Sriperumbudur. So we earned a TIC, which is of my investment group, which has funded our project, and we already started the construction of about 25,000 square feet of drone factory with research and development. It will be ready in another 2 to 3 months.
And are you going to raise additional fund in going forward? And if yes, what is the kind of funds you're looking for?
We invested about 20 crores in our project, and we have floated a venture capital fund for about 100 crores for a 26.6% stake of the company. Our vision is to build everything in-house, and it requires this kind of money and financial power and a little bit of hand-holding from big companies to actually start manufacturing. Almost say 95% in-house is achievable, but if we plan now, we will achieve it in a year's time.
Viewers, we are in conversation with Mr. Krishnaswamy, and we are discussing here about Tamilan, the drone company, which has come up with a unique frame that can be turned into a drone, can be turned into for use for defense, for agriculture, for logistics. So, sir, before I let you go, My Startup TV, we are a media platform for startups like yours. We take the whole idea is to showcase entrepreneurs like you, journey of yours, for the benefit of the startup ecosystem. What do you think about the kind of work we are doing?
It's a very good gesture that you're really putting your heart and soul to, get information. So today, information is key. That's what every media tries to capture. It is the data. So you please capture as many startups as you can and showcase it, because what I have spoken today might ignite a small spark in a small, tiny startup company like me, and that will how a big forest fire also gets created. So that small spark is what you are creating. So be it. But I want you to not create a spark. Just ignite the MOD and the government about to investment on research and development, because they need a high level of ignition to fire them up. So, because that is what is required for the country today. R&D is the key to success of my motherland, which Honorable Prime Minister Shri Modi ji has to accept it and invest 2 to 3% of GDP for research and development.
Well, I hope the message
reaches the right people, and we will do our best to take your message across to the MOD, to the PMO, to IDEX, to everybody else who's in the loop for decision making. We thank you for being on our show, and my apologies, I got your name wrong, Mr. Krishnamurthy, and we hope to see you again on our other shows on drone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Viewers, to be part of such interesting conversation around entrepreneurship, startups, and startup journeys, join us from 4 to 6 p.m. Monday to Saturday. Our new series, which started today at 2 p.m. This is going to be Monday to Saturday, 2 p.m. Thank you.